Today I'm going to be showing you how you can turn this old looking office PC into an awesome little budget gamer with R.G.Bling. So recently I picked this whole computer up on my local market for $380 and it has a 1070 inside of it, and I did a shorts on it a while back ago on my channel saying I would case swap it, and that's what we're doing today. So the first step, we gotta get it out of this ugly looking case. So let's take it apart. To take this PC apart, we're gonna be using this little wow stick. It's linked down below. First things, you wanna pull this little latch right here and it releases the front panel. Then you have access to all the internals. And then you wanna take the screwdriver and loosen these two screws right here and it releases this bracket. Then you go around to the back of the system and unscrew the power supply screws. And then down here at the bottom, there's this little lock button. Push it to unlock. And then this thing should just push right out just like that, and the power supply is ready to be taken out. So after you get all the necessary connections unplugged, like a 24-pin power, the CPU, and the graphics card, your power supply should slide right out. And now all that's left to do is unplug all the wires from the motherboard and then take it out. Okay, here's all the parts spread out on the table, and it may not look like a lot because it's really not, thanks to the fact that this PC came with an M.2 SSD. The first part is obviously the power supply. It's an EVGA 450 bronze rated, so it's pretty decent. And the graphics card here is a GTX 1070, and oh my goodness, that thing is disgusting, but it's the Founders Edition, and we'll give it a little cleansing. And then next up is obviously the motherboard. It's an IPK BLVM, a Dell motherboard. It shouldn't be too hard to put into a new case, but I will let you guys know. And then obviously the SSD, it's a 970 EVO by Samsung, 250 gigabytes, 16 gigs of RAM, and then an i7 processor. And sadly, the case that this motherboard was in, the IO shield does not come out. It's integrated into the case, so it has no IO shield. But hey, it will be overlooked by the RGB, so let's talk about that. So the RGB I'm adding into this build is a Cooler Master MB311L and an RGB CPU cooler, and then we'll do a little cleansing, especially on that graphics card because that 1070 was disgusting. And then I will give you some tips on how to build this little PC here. Okay, now that the PC is finally done, let's turn it on. But first, let me show you the cable management. I did it off camera because I tend to do better with it off camera. But yeah, there it is. It's pretty tidy in my opinion. Okay, pretty clean. I would give you the peel right now, but the glass panel isn't on. So stay tuned till the end of the video for the satisfying peel. Now, let's benchmark this thing. So we just got done testing this PC and it performs pretty good. In Fortnite, it almost reaches 200 FPS on pro settings, and then Call of Duty And then Call of Duty Warzone on high settings, you're almost hitting 100 FPS, which is really good on high settings. But of course, if you drop into low settings, you get a bit more performance. In our case, we got like 2 extra FPS, so I don't know if it's really worth it. And then of course, we also tested Fortnite in performance mode, and that gave us like 255 FPS average, which is super good. You can buy a 1080p 240Hz monitor, and you can be a pro Fortnite player if you feel like it. And then the last game we tested, which was a AAA title, being Borderlands 3, just to see how this PC performs up against harder to run titles. It maintained around a 60 FPS average on high settings in 1080p. Of course, you can drop it to low settings to get a higher FPS, but in a AAA title, you're not really going for high frame rates. You want all the best visuals that you can get. Then we ran a time spy and got a score of 5,635. And then I'm gonna start throwing Fire Strike into the mix of my benchmarks, and that got a total score of 13,793. But if you take a look, the graphics score is higher than the physics score, which is really good in a gaming PC. That's what you want. Overall, this PC performs really good, being able to play AAA titles. I'm not too sure about Cyberpunk. I didn't even want to test it. I don't even have the game, and I don't want to waste 60 bucks on a game. But what are your thoughts on this PC? If you had this PC in the same specs, being an i7 and a GTX 1070, how would you feel about it? Would you be happy with the performance? I didn't show you guys tips on how to build this PC because it was pretty simple. But if you need tips on how to build one, then stay tuned, because I'm dropping a really detailed how to build a PC guide in the near future. But I would have to say the star of the show for building this PC and case swapping it is my little screwdriver here and my electric air duster. Both will be linked below. But while we're here, let me give you that little peel that you guys have been waiting for. Somehow the audio cut out on the peel, so I'm very sorry about that, but here's a little wrinkle. I know it's not the best as a peel, but sorry. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.